it's Hallie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I read this month in August and then the books that I'm planning on reading in September. So this is going to be my August wrap up and September TBR. I hope I said that all right because last month I did not. And I actually managed to read like 10 books this month. And a couple were audiobooks, so take that as you will. And I was also reading other things at the same time, which I don't usually do, which is why it probably takes me so long to read things. But yeah, I was able to get through quite a lot of books this month. I was able to read some of them in like less than a day, just like a few hours, which is crazy. I never do that anymore. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk about these books. I have a bunch that were 5 stars and I have some that were 2 stars. And then I'm really excited to talk about what I'm looking forward to in September. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask you guys to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm literally like 5 subscribers away from 900 and I really want to hit that goal. So make sure to press the subscribe button down below. Would really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So first I read a couple of arcs. I'm gonna get all my arcs out of the way. So let's talk about those now. First, I read All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody, who wrote Ace of Shades, I think. And okay, I was really looking forward to this book. I rated it 4 stars because I was just like a little bit disappointed by the execution of almost the entire book. If you advertise something as being like the Hunger Games just with magic, which is what it is the Hunger Games with magic. Like, exactly. Like, it's not just because it's a dystopia or just because the government is evil. It's teenagers with magic in an arena killing each other until there's one left. It's the Hunger Games, but with magic. So to my surprise, when I read this book thinking it was going to be like as good as the Hunger Games, and it wasn't, I was a little bit disappointed. I did rate it 4 stars because the main romance it's incredible. Alistair and Isabel, they're so good. It's just like mean, grumpy, like evil boy with like the sweetheart of the tournament. Like, she's so pretty and like everyone's rooting for her and it's really, really good. But like the execution of the rest of it was not very good. It wasn't political at all, which is what the Hunger Games was. Like, it was like political critique, like that's what it was in its core. And this was just like a story. Like, it wasn't anything with any sort of deeper meaning, which books don't have to have deeper meanings, but like I was kind of expecting it. And it was just awkward. There were 4 point of views, so it was just so much information and trying to like make these characters complex with the very little time that the author had to put their point of views in. And it just really didn't work. Like, a lot of the characters were just like surface level. Like, she would say things about characters like Alistair, like, oh, he's ruthless and evil and mean, and then he just wasn't. Like, he wasn't ruthless or evil or mean at all. So it just really fell flat, but I gave it 4 stars because I loved Alistair and Isabel, and I'm really excited to read the next one because we did get a betrayal, so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, I talked about that for a long time. I cannot do that again. Next was an arc I received from an Instagram mutual, and it's called Sleeping Around by Morgan Vega, and it was okay. It was 3 stars for me. It was about a foster kid who played the violin. It was just a little strange and kind of like boring. Like, it's a really good message for foster kids, and it has some really good like lessons, but there were just a couple things that were just weird to me. Like the love interest had like 3 scenes and then they were together by the end of the book. Like it was just a lot, like really quickly, with no like, there was a little build up but not a lot. And then she would talk to her violin, like, and it was never explained. Like it said her violin could talk to her, and it did, and she would speak back to it and it would speak in her mind, and it just never explained that. It just said that that was that, and I would love an explanation for that, but you know, it was okay. I don't think I would really recommend it. And then next was an arc of I Hate You More. This it hit so good. It's about a veterinarian who's just like angry and grumpy, and he's prudish and like a stick in the mud, and then an ex-beauty pageant queen, Ruby, and she's just like kind of bitchy and like a little bit mean, but also like kind of sunshiny to like everyone else but him, and it's just so good. I gave it 5 stars. It takes a very sexual turn that I was not expecting at all. Like the first like third of the book, I was like, all right, is this a book where we're gonna get some good like sex scenes? Like, are we gonna get some good like smut? Like, come on, give it to me. And then all of a sudden it was like brakes screeching, like sexual content, and it was good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think you guys will too. It comes out in November. It's super, super cute, and there's dogs and like sexual tension and like pining, and it's just really, really good. So those were all the arcs that I read this month. I requested a ton more, like 6, and I haven't heard back from any of them, and it's so annoying because I just want to read some good romance books that aren't out yet. Like, I'm on a huge like romance book kick. Like, I think I am turning into mainly a romance reader, which is like, I cannot read fantasy anymore. I'm trying so hard, and it's like so difficult for me now, but I'm gonna get through it. Next, I read Gods and Monsters, and I'm not gonna get into it right here. I did a whole review for it in my last video, so if you want to know what I thought about it, just go check that out. I'll tell you, I did rate it 4 stars, so go check out what I thought of Lewin Reed's final installment. Next, I read The Raven King by Nora Sakavic, and of course, as you all know, the All for the Game series is my favorite book series on earth. I have an All for the Game tattoo, and just know that I'm always rereading All for the Game. Like, and by rereading, I mean listening to the audiobooks. I listen to them every time I get in the car. Anytime I drive anywhere, I'm listening to the audiobooks for this stupid fucking series. And I finished the Raven King audio this month. I'm about 30% into the Kingsmen audiobook. And yeah, it's still 5 stars for me every single time. It hits so good. My favorite pastime is just like talking along to the All for the Game audiobook in my car, because I'm so fucking pathetic. Wonderful. Then I read The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, and this was a new release that I read, and it was good. It was good. It was 5 stars. Best friends to lovers, football player and ballerina. Like, I'm a sports romance fiend, so the second I heard about this, I was like, yes, like, let's get it. And it was okay. They're adults, so I was expecting some sex scenes, and we didn't get any. It was good. It was good. The mutual pining, dual point of view, best friends to lovers is why I gave this 5 stars. I enjoyed like the build up, the tension. It hit, and he is described as being so attractive, and so that got me too. But it was a nice little romance. If you enjoy romance that doesn't have sex scenes in it, this is definitely perfect for you. Like, the writing is a little bit cheesy and like a little cringe, but I didn't mind it. It wasn't too bad. Like, it didn't ruin the story for me, so that's why I gave it 5 stars. Next was How We Fall Apart by Zhao, and I was so excited for this book. I was so excited. Like, I was so ready to be like in love with it. Like, dark academia in high school. Like, I was so excited, and I read this book in like a day, and it just again fell flat. Like, it did not live up to the expectations that were set. And apparently this is a really popular opinion. I didn't know it until after I rated it 3 stars, and then I was like, I really wish this would have been a 4 or 5 star read for me, and everyone was like, yeah, me too. Like, it definitely did not live up to the hype, because if you're in any sort of like book circle, like on social media, like, you've heard about this book. It's been hyped up all year, and it just did not meet any of my expectations. And usually I will give a like sort of leniency to a book if it has a good romance in it, because that's what I'm reading for. I'm reading for romance, and if it doesn't have one but the plot is still good, like, that's fine, whatever. But this had a weird romance that was strange and no chemistry and no anything, and then also a kind of subpar plot. It could have been better. If the writing had been a little less juvenile, it could have been better. The only character that was any sort of complex or expanded on at all was Nancy, the main character with the only point of view. The other characters were just so surface level and not really interesting at all. Like, I feel like dark academia in high school has to be written like so good that you're ignoring the fact that they're all like 15. So, like, there was a line that was like, my dark past or whatever, and it's like, your past, girl, you were 12. Like I just don't know how serious I can take a book that talks about like dark pasts and histories from middle school. Like, it just doesn't hit the same as like a college dark academia would. It just really was pretty juvenile and not the world wasn't expanded upon. The only thing that I could see as like well written was the main character's gray morality, but that's about it. These next 2 books I'm just going to talk about together because I got them both from Barnes & Noble. As you can see, it was buy one 50% off. I went in to get a journal, and literally to get to the journal table I had to walk past the buy one get one 50% off romance table, and this is what I ended up getting. Neither of them hit. Neither of them. I think I rated them both 2 stars. Both of them. Garbage, awful, sucked. This one, so boring, no tropes at all. I wrote the meanest Goodreads review ever, because look at this. This is exactly what I would like. Like, this cover, I was like, I saw it and like my eyes turned into like laser beams in Barnes & Noble, and I got it, was so excited, and it was so boring. Everything about it was boring. There was nothing interesting. There were no tropes in this book whatsoever. There was no anything. Like, this girl gets kicked off of her softball team and then goes to a different high school, and the coach there wants her to prove that she can be on a team before putting her on the softball team, like that she's good at teamwork, because that's why she got kicked off of her team at her other school, and like her scholarship was canceled, so she couldn't afford it, had to go to this school. Well, she joins the football team because he asks her to cover for him for 1 game, because she has a good arm and a good throw. So she does, and then she ends up taking his spot as the starting quarterback. Would you not think that a starting quarterback getting his spot taken during his senior year of high school, where scouts are coming and watching the games, would be angry about it and fight for his spot back and become enemies or rivals, since it's sports, trying to fight for this one starting quarterback position? Would you not think that, right? Like, that's what naturally this book should be about. No, not about that. There's nothing like that at all. It's just like, oh, he's so cute, oh, she's so cute, and then they kiss a little bit, and then there's like a little problem and like high school drama, and it's so boring. I hated it so much, and I cannot talk about this book anymore or I'm gonna go crazy. Then there was this, Best Laid Plans, virgin, not a virgin, and they're best friends. I honestly thought this was gonna be best friends with benefits to lovers, which is why I bought it, and it was just like garbage, like not good at all. She asks him to teach her how to like have sex or like get her first time over with, so it's not like a whole big thing, because there's a hot guy that she wants to have sex with but doesn't want that to be her first time. And it's just, that whole thing is so prolonged. It doesn't even get introduced, the plot, until like halfway through the book. Like, it took forever to get there, and it's just so boring. Like, he was interesting and he was a pretty cool character, and I enjoyed like the obviousness of his attraction to her and her not knowing it, but that is it. Like, it sucked. When you have a book that says the Best Laid Plans and there's a bra and the back says that she's a virgin and asks him to give her tips and like have sex with her, you would think there would be a sex scene. There's not at all. So I was misled. And I didn't like it at all. So 2 stars, don't recommend. It'll look pretty on my shelves though. Look at that yellow, it's nice. And then lastly for this month, this is my currently reading, and it is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and I love it so far. I'm only like 100 pages in because it takes me a trillion years to read fantasy for some reason now. I read those romances in like 3 hours each, like tops. And this I've been reading for like 4 days, and I'm still reading it, and I'm only 100 pages in. But it is so cool. The main character, she's so cool, and I love her so much, Bree. And like, there's obviously gonna be a love triangle, like I can tell. I really like it so far. My favorite character is Selwyn Kane. So sexy, like gold eyes, black hair. He's angry. Like there's a fight scene, and it was like he got kicked in the chest and he like flies and then lands, like he grabs the ground and like he lands on his 2 feet, like kind of like an anime kind of move, and he has like a feral grin on his face, and he's so cool. I'm so excited. I really like it so far. And if this ends on a cliffhanger, Kayla and Sophia, I'm going to end your whole careers, actually. And that is it for all the books that I read this month. Way more books than I usually read. My literally raw footage right now is at like 25 minutes, which is insane. It usually takes like 10 minutes to talk about what I've already read. But let's get into my TBR for September. Super excited. Okay, so after I finish Legendborn, I will be reading The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I've literally been putting this off for so long. I don't even know why. Like, I don't know what it is. I think I'm so like anticipating it, and it sounds so good, and there's so many mixed opinions about it that if I read it and it's boring and awful, I'm going to be so mad. Like, I've been looking forward to this for so long, and I just didn't want that like excitement to go away, I guess. So I haven't read it. And my best friend has been begging me to read it forever now. So after I finish Legendborn, this is what I'll be reading. It sounds so fucking good. Like, the best man and the maid of honor that hate each other being forced to go on the honeymoon together. It's so good. Like, that's such a good premise for a book, and it's very popular. I've heard about it everywhere. People recommend it to me, and I'm like, I know, I have it, I own it, I've had it for so long, and that's what I want to do. I want to read it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And I just need a quick break in between the fantasies that I have planned for a romance, just to like cool off for a minute, because fantasies are so much for me right now for some reason, but I'm very excited to start this. And then I said I was gonna read this last month, but ARCs just kept getting in the way, and it just did not happen. So this month, 100%, I will be reading Carry On, the Simon Snow trilogy. I'm hoping to get all 3 books read, but they're very big books, so we'll see what happens, because I have some other books that are releasing this month that I'm going to be reading like the day they come out. So I'm really hoping I can get through Legendborn, Unhoneymooners, and Carry On, Wayward Son, and Any Way the Wind Blows before these books come out, but we'll see. I'm very excited though. I'm tired of not being in the loop anymore. I want to know what the hype is surrounding these boys. Like, I have to know. And then just 2 more books, because that makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books for September, and I do not know how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try, but I just started school, so I do not know what's gonna happen. But The Hollow Heart by Marie Rakoski is the sequel to The Midnight Lie, and I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy called the Winter's Trilogy. So this is also going to end on a cliffhanger like The Midnight Lie did, and that's gonna kill me. But Sid and Niram are finally coming back to me! I'm so excited! I want my lyre. I want her perfume to rub off on me like bruised grass. Like, how good is that? Like, Sid and Niram they hit so good, and now Niram is dark and Sid is on her other island as Princess Sidarine, and she left and she doesn't know. And if I don't get Sid's point of view when she finds out that Niram has gone dark, like, I'm really hoping The Hollow Heart is in Sid's point of view. Like, it has to be. I want it so bad. I don't want to know what the inner thinkings of Niram's dark mind are. I want to know Sid's reactions to it and like seeing it firsthand. And oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. And then the final installment of the Gilded Wolves trilogy, The Bronzed Beasts. And oh my god, I'm going to be doing a makeup look for this book. I'm terrified. Like, I've never been more scared for a final installment of a book. Like, what the hell is gonna happen in this fucking book? Like, I have no idea. I have not even like an inkling of what's gonna happen. I have what would be like, it would tear my heart into shreds and ruin my life. But Severin Layla double death trope, I can't lie, it would hit so good. I am so scared for what the characters are gonna go through. Severin is gone. He killed Zofia, he killed Enrique. That's what Layla thinks at this point. It would have been insane if Roshani had made people think that he had killed them and then didn't like expose the fact that he was lying. Like, that would have been really cool and would have made me like actually scream. Like, even the fake killing, and I know it's fake, made me scream, because Layla doesn't know. She doesn't know that it's fake. She thinks that Enrique and Zofia are dead and Severin killed them. That's all she knows at this point. And she crushed his Nemo bug that he gave her with the answers because she was so mad at him. Like, okay, I need to stop talking about it. But I'm so scared, but also really looking forward to it. I am dying to know how this series ends, and Oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy. So I'm gonna stop talking about it, but I'm very, very excited. And I doubt I will have any other time to read anything else this month, but if I do, it's going to be my fucking Once Upon a Time book for my Russian mythology class, erotique noir for my gender and sex and literature class, and maybe a Mariana Zapata book, maybe, we'll see, but I doubt I'm gonna have time for Mariana Zapata, and my course books are not very high on my list of priorities right now. So, but yeah, that was it for my August wrap up and September TBR. We are getting into the fall. I'm so excited. Maybe I'll read some more thrillers and like scary books sometime soon. We'll see. But for now, please make sure to like this video and click the subscribe button down below. It would mean so much to me. I'm so close to 900. And yeah, maybe next video will be best and worst book tropes or books I've given 3 or less stars. Like, we'll see. We'll see what I feel like. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you guys next week. Bye.